And it's on. Don't say anything stupid.
Don't say anything stupid about any of the people that are watching.
Yeah, you can say it about the people that are watching, just not the ones that aren't watching. That's behind their back.
Yeah, okay. I haven't heard from Braden today.
They're probably still fishing.
Probably still fishing, yeah.
He's going to hate it when he's got to not fish a Sunday night to do a Facebook Live.
Yeah,
Which is what's coming.
Marty Castor, Christopher Dugan, Britt Davenport. Hey, guys, what's up? Kevin Griffin. What's up, Kev? You're not playing Galaxia right now? Casey Miller.
Larry. Brian Davenport. I guess they didn't go fishing today.
They may be fishing. Hey, Britt, what's up?
Bob Marcel.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, Bob? What's up, Brian? Not now. Kevin, not now. He's gonna do it afterwards.
I think it's boring in the middle, he might. Yeah, Brittany goes, we don't fish where there's cell signal.
Yeah, good point. Someday we'll get out there. What's up, Larry? Get rid of that one. Good.
Where are you at that there's still 3 to 4 feet of snow?
He's got to be in Canada. His last name's LeBlanc.
There's French people in Louisiana, too.
That's true, yeah. Braden Miller and Grant Alvis did, and they're on the way back in case you didn't see Braden. Okay. Did they catch anything?
Duke's watching.
Deanna refuses to play anymore. I'm the all-time champ. That's funny. What's up, Duke? Look at you going into the Duke's going into the Elite Eight. Hey, Mike, what's up? Me and Daniel LeBlanc have 3 to 4 feet of snow. Good Lord, it was 70 degrees here today. What did he say? Do the show?
Do the show or get off the air? That's fine. I can block him. Maury Fly Fisher. Okay.
Okay. What time is it?
7:01.
Okay. I'll give it a few more minutes. Hey, Charles. $80. Kevin said it's 80 down in Atlanta. And Michael Thomas. Hey, Mike. Ramps and beaches are closed down here. Yeah. That works. Oh, cool. Just brought a new Nor-vise and made a cool set. Hey, Jock, what's up, man? That last fly was absolutely killer. All right, should we start?
Yeah, go ahead before someone else yells at us.
All right. Oh, hold on. Took my glasses off, and then somebody just sent a message. I missed it. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? All right, guys. We're going to get started. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Hey, Lance, how you doing? We're going to talk a little bit about the March Madness and the contest and how much fun it has been. We're going to talk a little bit about the COVID-19 situation, and then we're going to tie Pat's watching, and we're going to tie some bugs. So thank you guys for joining us. This is our fourth one of these things. They've been going really, really well. We do, after this airs, I go back and watch them later in the evening, and I try to get to all of the questions that were posted, because when we're doing this, Tyler does a great job of relaying the questions to me, but sometimes we miss some. So I try to make sure that we get all the questions answered. So if we happen to miss you here, just resend it. If we miss it while we're live, I try to get it later on. And if I don't get it later on, send me a private message or send me an email or whatever. I'm certainly not ignoring anybody. I want to make sure that you get all your questions answered. If we didn't answer it, we just simply missed it. So please feel free to reach out.
So it's 7:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. If you're watching this and it is any other time other than 7:04 p.m., it's no longer live. So if you're asking questions and you think I'm ignoring you, I'm not ignoring you, because this has already happened. You're watching a recording. So just keep that in mind. We've had that the past couple weeks.
Buzzy's listening. So there was there's been a couple of situations where people would post up like tie this type of fly or tie this type of fly, or mention this and mention this, and I actually got a little bit upset with Tyler last week, because I texted him later and I'm like, why are you not telling me about this? And he said, Dad, look at the time, and you guys are watching the recorded version of it, sending in questions as if they were live. So typically by about 8 o'clock we'll be done. If you're watching it after 8 and you're asking questions, we will get to them. It's just not a live feed anymore. Okay.
Buzzy goes, how about March Madness with a non-game changer round?
I got a feeling...
You just want to kick Braden out, or what?
I got a feeling there's going to be another game changer coming up here this week. All right. So, March Madness. We know the winners. We know the people who have gone into the Elite Eight. They have been notified. They actually already know what the fly is for the next round. So here's the bracket, and I just posted this up on the Norvise page. It's been up there for a couple of hours. So we're down to the Elite Eight now, and I'll go ahead and read the names. This has been so much fun. I am addicted to this thing, and I keep logging on throughout the day. It's the first thing I do when I wake up is I log on to the Norvise Facebook and see who is winning, and some of them have been complete blowouts, and then some of them have been really, really close. So advanced to the Elite Eight: Lance Hackle, Kevin Griffin, Duke Davis, and Jock Scott. That's on the left hand side of the bracket. On the right-hand side of the bracket, Shannon Messer, Sean Crow, Braden Miller, and Terry Landry. And the Tom Weir Sean Crow matchup, that one, I was riveted to the Facebook. They were tied at 178 votes apiece with 8 minutes left in the voting. So basically 24 hours. People have been voting, and they were tied at 178. And I would log on, and Sean would be ahead, and I would log on, and Tom would be ahead, and they just kept swapping back and forth. And Sean wound up pulling it out, and he's advancing, and I'm going to say this because he's out of the competition at this point. A lot of the tires we didn't know personally when they signed up, but of the guys that we knew, my pick to win this whole thing, and I said it to Tyler as soon as we set the brackets up, was Tom Weir. He ties some of the most fantastic flies. He ties a wide range of flies. He ties streamers. He ties dries. He ties a whole bunch of different things. And there's another guy who's still in the competition. They were my two picks from the right side and the left side of the bracket to win this thing. And Tom went out this round to Sean Crow. Sean was one of the tires that we didn't really know. He has tied two fantastic flies, deserving to win and deserving to move on for sure. So this is just like the basketball tournament. You never know what's going to happen, and a lot of it has to do with the matchups and the brackets and who you go up against in what particular round. And if you're not maybe if streamers aren't in your wheelhouse and you're going up against a guy that streamers are in their wheelhouse, a lot of it has to do with the luck of the draw. So this is so much fun. We're already talking about next year. I've already got tons and tons of ideas of things that we can do next year. Definitely going to do it again. So for those of you who unfortunately didn't get in this year or who have been eliminated, there's going to be another shot next year. So,
or those who don't have their vice yet.
Yeah, or those who didn't have their vice yet. So, but yeah, we're definitely going to give this another run next year. So, having a lot of fun. But the next round is dry fly. And as soon as I put it out, I started getting messages back. Well, can I tie this? Can I tie this? Is this considered? Is this considered? And what we're looking for, and I kind of had to figure out how to word it because I don't want to put too many restrictions on it because I want people to have their freedom when they're tying. But what I said it needs to emulate a live insect that floats on the top of the water. So basically, what I don't want to see in this round, I don't want to see bass bug poppers and big spun deer hair creations and all. And as much as I like that, that's not what I want to see in this round. I also didn't want to go too far the other way and say, classic dry flies or Catskill style dry flies and put too many restrictions on it. So it's dry fly. And it is a fly that emulates a live insect that floats on the top of the water. And once I made that clarification, then all the guys that were left were like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. And we have a messenger, Facebook Messenger that goes back and forth, and that's how we're communicating with all of the guys that are in the contest. And it's kind of become a little family, and the guys are like, hey, after the contest, let's keep this going and let's stay in touch and all that. And that's really what this is about. So, good on everybody that's in the contest, good on everybody who's been a good sport, who maybe didn't advance. So we're just having a ball with this. So we've got 2 more rounds, and then we're going to be announcing the winner, and the winner's going to get a $500 Nor-vise gift certificate, and they are also going to get, and you should see the look on Tyler's face right now because he has no idea what I'm going to say. If they're not already, they're also going to get an offer to be on Team Norvise, which is our middle tier of our Pro Tires family.
Well, we already have 4 ambassadors get the boot.
Well, and that was, what, and in a way, I was kind of, obviously, I didn't want to see the ambassadors lose, but I also didn't want to see the Norvise ambassadors continue to advance because then people would start with, hey, it's favoritism, or hey, you're doing something to the, and we're not doing anything with this contest. We don't even vote on it. Myself, Tyler, Michelle, none of us vote on it. And I think 3 ambassadors went out in the first round. So that is maybe not for them, but it's a good thing. It shows the quality of the people that are tying on our Vice and the fact that there are some really, really good tires out there. So yeah, we're going to do the $500 gift certificate, and if the person who advances isn't already, they're going to get an option to join the professional Norvise tires team. So that's pretty good. Terry Landry, you're doing a great job. Yeah, thank you. So that's where we're at with that. You guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. The patterns are due to Chris Dugan at 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. That's 7 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday. Now, to the 8 guys that are timed, they knew yesterday about midday or so that we were doing Y-fly, that we were doing dry flies. So I wanted to give them a couple of extra days to tie their patterns. So we should see some really, really good dry flies coming up here. So dry fly, your patterns are due Wednesday. They're due to Chris, who you've been sending them to, Wednesday morning by 7 a.m. And I'm going to post them Wednesday night. And we only have 4 games this round because we're in the Elite 8. So I'll probably post all 4 of them in one night. So we will know Thursday morning who advances to the Final Four. So a lot of fun. Hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are. Again, Chris, thank you for all the work that you're doing. Chris volunteered to help us out with this. And like I said last week, as much fun as this is, it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of photos and a lot of filing stuff and making sure that the right picture gets put in the right place. And he's really, really stepped up and helped me with that. And without him, I wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you, Chris. Thank you to all the people that participated. And let's see what happens this week. I'm so looking forward to this round. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Let's talk a little bit, again, about the elephant in the room of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And I really thought we're now, I guess, about 4.5, maybe 5 weeks into this thing. And I really thought that we would be on the downhill side of it at this point. And I thought that we would be, kind of, okay, things are flattening out. Things are going to go back to normal. And we're going to start fishing and having fun and doing all the things that we normally do. And that is simply not the case. And the more you look at it, the more it looks like the stipulations are getting more and more. We found out, I guess, yesterday that we will not be able to fish for shad in Maryland this year. That is one of our premier springtime fisheries. We love shad fishing. I have presentations centered around it. We have patterns that we've tied a couple of weeks ago. And unfortunately in Maryland, we're not going to be able to fish for them. So there's going to be no shad season in Maryland in 2020. We can still fish in Pennsylvania for shad, and I'm sure we will, but Maryland is our bread and butter. So things are I hoped, or I thought that they would be looking up at this point, and I don't think they are. So we're all in this together. Just, stay calm, do your best to stop the spread, follow the rules the best you can, and let's get through this. Now, at Norvise, what we're doing, obviously the Facebook Lives have been a byproduct of this coronavirus and these stay-at-home orders and shelter-in-place and so forth, and they're working out great, and we're going to continue to do them. And as I said last week, through March Madness, which will be 2 more after tonight, I will be doing them. And then we're going to turn it over to some of the ambassadors. And I think we've been having discussions. I think Brittany Davenport is going to do the, hey, Jake Powell's watching. Brittany Davenport is going to do the first one of the ambassadors. I think, I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to bounce it around, so you're not sitting here and watching me every week. So that's a good thing. We also have our Facebook page, our Nor-vise Facebook page, which if you're watching this, you've logged on to. We're putting content up there daily. As we are with our Instagram account, you're going to see more posts and more pictures and more things going up there on a daily basis. The Norvise Tires Facebook page is a fantastic resource. We don't own it. It's run by a gentleman. His name's Mike Hawkins down in Texas. It's up. I believe it's over 500 members at this point. Very, very good resource for the Norvise. I check in on it daily, but sometimes I don't get there. You know, a post may be up for half a day or better, and somebody asking a question about, hey, how do you do this, or how do you do that? And I read the comments of the people who have answered, who are on the page, and the comments and the answers are spot on. And I mean, if I was monitoring every post on the page, I couldn't answer them any better than what the members are answering. Mike runs it really well. There's no BS. There's no person posting up and asking a question and then 4 other people jumping on them and you know, basically making them feel like they're, you know, a moron. It's just a great resource. So if you're on Facebook and if you're not on the Norvise Tires page, check it out and give it a like, because it's a really good resource. They've got a fly swap going on now. I think they have 10 members in the swap. This is the second swap. I am not involved in this one. The first one that they did, I was involved in. So it's a great community. So check it out and give it a like and get involved. Our blog is running. It's being updated. I'm trying to update it weekly. Little short things. There was a great post I put up this week by one of our ambassadors, Kevin Griffin. It's an old post, and it's a pretty powerful message, and that's all I'm going to say. You'll have to go to the site to read it. But I have been sitting on it for about a year, and when it came time to post something, I read it, and I actually contacted Kevin, and I'm like, hey, are you okay with me posting this? And when you read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And he was like, yeah, sure, go ahead and post it. And it has it's got a really good response. So little short story, but good reading. And we're going to be putting some flies up there and some other things. So definitely check out the blog. The picture sharing page. We are out of show season. We've actually been out of show season for a little while now. We typically shut the picture sharing down December through, well, January, February, March, because of show season. And I just, with us traveling to shows during show season, the heat of the season, we're typically only home here at the house 2 or 3 days a week, depending on where the show is and how long it is. So it's very, very hard for me to get to everything. We're putting some things in place that maybe this year we won't have to shut down the picture sharing page. But this year we did. It's back up and running. We're going to do it again for April. If you don't know what it is, you basically send a picture. There's a link on the website on the picture sharing page, and you can send the picture through the website. And I post them now. It has to be a tasteful fishing picture. If it's a fly picture, it has to have been tied in a Nor-vise, and we put them up on the website, and they're segregated by month. And at the end of the month, the ambassadors look at all of the pictures that have been posted, and the ambassadors pick a winner. Again, I don't vote on this. Tyler doesn't vote on it. It's strictly the ambassadors. And the winner for each month gets a prize from Norvise. So check that out. Send some pictures in. Use the link on the website, please. It makes it so much easier for me to keep everything straight. If you email them to me, there's a good chance that they won't make it up on the site, just because we get so much email and they get lost in the shuffle. So use the link that's on the page. Send your picture in. We'll get them posted up, and then we'll start in April. So we'll vote at the end of the month, and whoever has the picture that gets the most votes will get a prize from Norvise.
All right, why don't we do some tying, and then we can rope back to talking, because
Okay.
we've been talking for like 20 minutes, and
All
the
right.
viewers are going down.
All right. So I was told we have to tie. So with these Facebook Lives, and give us a minute, we're learning, so we're going to reposition the camera. I want to get it closer to what we're doing, so just bear with us. But on these Facebook Lives, if you guys have a suggestion of some things that you want to see, let me know. What we're going to do tonight, we keep getting asked, and it's the most popular thing that we do with the Vice. We keep getting asked about showing the dubbing and showing how you do the dubbing and some of the other basic techniques. So I'm going to do what we call the demo fly, which is dubbing, Hurl, and Hackle. And then I'm going to show you some other things that we can do with the dubbing, maybe some advanced techniques, and then we're going to tie a bug. But with these Facebook Lives, if you guys have something that you would like to see, let me know. And we had a couple of suggestions. One of them was what we're doing tonight. A lot of people asked for the dubbing. We've had suggestions on, we did the dubbing brush table last week. We did Nor-vise maintenance was a great suggestion that we got this week, so we'll be doing that one. And then we got one that said anything by Braden Miller. So I think that might have been his aunt, Whit, out in Oregon. So yeah, Braden is going to be on here, and he's going to be doing a few. But for right now, we'll do the demo fly, and then we'll do some other dubbing techniques. So I'm tied on here. I'm just going to lay a thread base down, nice and easy. Throw a half hitch in it. And we're going to go on the cradle. Now this is this thread. It's Semperfli's. They call it Classic A-Dot. And there, I will tell you this: there is nothing classic about this thread. This is some of the best thread that we've tied with. We've been using it all through show season, and it has the diameter of A-Dot. The breaking strength is definitely above A-Dot. This is Senyo's laser dub. Bear with us, we're still getting the camera. Hopefully this is going to be a bit closer so you guys will be able to see what we're doing a little better. Alright, so Senyo's laser dub. And then basically what you want to do, the secret to this is you want to tease your dubbing out. You can't pull it out of the bag in a big matted up clump like that. It's not gonna dub properly. Okay, you want to pull a little bit out of the bag, and then you just take and you just kind of tease it out, and you want it to be open and airy and wispy, I guess is the best way that I can describe it. Now, see how I've got just a couple of little fibers coming off the top of this? That's what you need to get this started. And once you get it started on the thread, and it'll just pull the rest of it out of your fingers. So I got my dubbing teased out. I'm going to spin the thread, I touch it to the dubbing, and you can see it starts pulling it right out of my fingers, right up onto the thread. So I've kind of pre-tapered my dubbing noodle here, so you can see I've got a little bit of dubbing here, and then it gradually gets heavier as it goes up. Okay, what is happening here? This thread is captured here at the hook, and it goes from the hook to the thread post. And as I'm spinning the vise, the thread is actually twisting up on itself. And if you continue to spin, you will break the thread. But after you do this several times, you'll kind of get a feel for how to get the dubbing on, and then how much you can twist it. So I've let go of the thread, and you can see it's loosening up right here. Can you move that camera just a little bit to my... There you go. All right, so now what I'm going to do, you may have to move it back here in a second. I'm going to pinch it right here, and what that does is when I pinch it here, it only allows this amount of thread to twist. Okay, now I'm going to spin the vise. Now watch what it does here to this loose dubbing. See how that tightens that right up for me? Okay, now I'm going to reach underneath with my other hand. I'm going to take the bobbin off the cradle, and I'm going to work my way to the back where I want to start my dubbing. And now I've got my dubbing on the hook, and I'm just working this forward, laying the wraps right next to one another. And there you can see I've got my nice tapered abdomen of whatever bug I'm tying at the time. Okay, so it's very easy. You can either do a consistent dubbing noodle that's a lot longer, and then you can wrap and then wrap over top to get your taper. Or one of the advanced techniques is it's how fast you move your fingers up the thread. The faster you move it, the least amount of dubbing is going on there. The slower you move it, the more amount of dubbing is going on there, and that's how you build a taper. Okay, so that's the initial introduction to dubbing on the Norvise. All right, the second thing is Peacock Hurl. This is Nature Spirit Hurl. This is 8 to 10 inch, And when we ordered this, I had never seen peacock herl this long. And they actually offer a longer one that's like 10 to 12 inch or something like that. So 12-inch peacock herl is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
but
Beans is watching.
Oh, hey, what's up, Beans? So I've got 4 hurls here. Okay, I'm going to marry them together. Now, this is a great material, and I love it. And I've used all of the synthetics that this is just like peacock herl, and it's not. It just doesn't. When this stuff gets wet, it just changes colors, and the synthetic stuff just doesn't do it. Great material, but it's very brittle, especially out here at the tips. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to tie it in. Throw a half hitch. How you doing with that half hitch, Mike? And I'm going to go on the cradle. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the thread to reinforce this. And this is something that I don't know if Norm quite explains this in the video. And this is something that people struggle with. And there's a little thing that I'm going to do here that I'm going to show you how to wrap this and wrap it properly. If you lay this forward and you parallel this hurl to the thread and you start spinning it, what it's going to do, it's going to start wrapping up here, and it's not going to wrap down here, which is not what we want. We want it to start to wrap down here right by the front of the hook. So instead of laying it right parallel against the thread, come out at about a 30-degree angle. Okay, so it would look like this. There's my thread. There's my hurl. So I'm at roughly a 30-degree angle.
If you can hold it above and do it, it's going to look better.
Yeah, let me see if that'll work. So when I do that, when I hold it at a 30-degree angle, what happens when I do my first wrap? See how it catches it right there at the eye? Okay, so I'll do it again. You trying to zoom the camera in?
No, I was just making sure it's focused. You're good.
All right. So see, when I do it, it catches the first wrap right at the eye, whereas if I lay it parallel, watch, it doesn't. The first wrap is way down here. And that's why it'll start wrapping back here, and then people keep spinning and spinning and spinning, and the hurl breaks here at the hook. So hold it at about a 30-degree angle, spin the vise, and then feed the hurl down onto the thread. Okay, so let me see if I can. I don't know if I can unwrap that or not, but let me see if I can do it again. Probably not.
Just to show you how well it's wrapped.
I'll tie another one on. So let me wrap this. Okay, now you can see right here. See how it's taken those 4 hurls, it's twisted them together, and then it's twisted the thread around it. So we've made a hurl rope or a hurl chenille, if you will. Now again, just like with the dubbing, I'm pinching it here at the end. I'm going to reach underneath with my hand, and I'm going to take the bobbin off the cradle. Then I'm going to come here perpendicular to the shank of the hook, and I'm just going to start feeding this on to the fly. And that's about what I want. So I've got this much extra. So I'm going to treat that like a dubbing loop. So I'm going to pinch it down here at the bottom. Going to bring my thread up, and I'm going to do 3 in front, 3 behind, 3 more in front. Now I'm tied back off to the shank of the hook. I'm going to come in here, clip that off. You can see the thread is still kind of wrapped around the hurl. This goes in my scrap bin, and I'm ready for my next step. Now with that being reinforced, I can take my bodkin and I can poke and I can prod at this and I can scrape it. Even if one of those hurls breaks, it's not going to unwind because the thread has it lashed down to the shank of the hook. So that's how we would do peacock hurl on Norvise. Okay. And hackle. I'm going to prep this hackle feather.
Keith's late again.
Let me come up here a little higher. All right, so I've stripped the stem of this feather, so I've got just a little bit of the center section sticking out there. I'm going to take that. This is the shiny side facing the camera, so I want that facing towards the front of the fly. So this is the dull side. This is the shiny side. I'm going to take that stem. I'm going to lay it up against the thread. And this is a very easy tie off. And I'm just going to come up and we're going to tie it. And if you want to figure eight it, you can figure eight it. A couple behind, half hitch.
Ed showed up.
Ed Hayes?
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Ed? And then we're going to go on to the cradle. Okay, now just like with the Hurl, I don't want to lay this feather flat against the thread because it's going to catch up here and it's going to start spinning and it's not going to spin down here. And this is where we want it to spin. We want it to catch here. So I'm going to hold it at, what do you got, a question?
No, Bob Larcell said he adds like a piece of tinsel or fine wire to the peacock curl. So you get the flash in different colors and a little bit different depth.
Yeah, you can do that. You
can put like a piece of Flashaboo in there and spin the thing up. And
absolutely. Actually, I can do that here in a second. So we're gonna keep this at about a 30-degree angle. I'm going to spin the vise and see how it takes that hackle and it wraps it right around the thread. Now you can see right in here. You can see the thread wraps around the center section of the hackle. Okay, now I'm not going to let go, and I'm just going to come underneath here. I'm going to take my bobbin off, and I'm going to start, and we're going to wrap forward. And let me get quite as much on the back there as I want. There we go. That's the beauty about not hand over hand wrapping. If you don't do it right, you can always, you're holding tension on it, you can just unwind it and do it again. Okay, so now I've got a little bit extra. I'm going to come up here, treat it like a dubbing loop. 3 in front, 3 behind. Okay, and I don't want to cut this. I don't want to come in here and cut it because I don't want to cut these tips off. So I'm just going to push-pull, and I'm going to saw this off with my scissors to get that stem and feather out. Okay. That goes in the waist. Now, I'm going to take my handy-dandy patented Nor-vise hackle guard. I'm going to slide it up the thread, up onto the front of the fly. I'm going to fold all of those fibers back, and I'm going to build up my nice little thread head right here. And we're going to whip it. And we'll remember to slide our handy dandy patented Nor-vise hackle guard back down. Okay, now see what that does? Takes all our hackle, folds it back so it veils backwards over the fly. Okay, we've got the shape that we want. We've got a nice clean head with nothing sticking over the eye. And we've got a fly that's probably 10 times more durable than any fly that you're going to tie in a fly shop bin. So there's dubbing, hurl, and hackle. And I've showed you how to do it faster. I've showed you how to do it, in my opinion, better. And I've showed you how to tie a better, more durable fly. These are just some of the things that we can do with the Nor-vise. Okay, now, when we're at the shows, and it happens every time, I have people, and they see that dubbing demonstration, and especially when I have a bunch of people in front of the table, and I can hear them in the background, and I can, oh, he's done something special to the thread. He did something to it before we walked up. It can't be that easy.
You've got multiple questions asking where can we get the little hackle guard.
We sell the handy dandy Norvise hackle guard today for the special price of $900 a piece. No takers.
Well, it's a 10-second delay. They haven't
even heard it yet. All right. Now, what the hackle guard is, and here I'll show you how easy it is to make one.
Hold a bobbin up with the cap on it.
Okay, so here's one of our bobbins with our silicone cap on it that allows the bobbins to stay under tension when you're not using it or when it's not hanging on the thread post. So these are the little silicone caps, and I'm going to be sending out like 500 of these tomorrow. I can already feel it. So to make your handy dandy Norvise hackle guard, they're tapered. You can see they're bigger towards the bottom, smaller towards the top. Clip a little bit off the bottom, come up about 1/16 of an inch, clip it again, and there's your hackle guard. Simple as that. Slide it over the tube of your bobbin, and you're good to go.
Kevin goes, "Can I get my ambassador discount on that price?"
On that $900 price? Yeah, right. All right. So I hear people all the time, and they're in the background, and this can't be real, and blah, 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 blah. So then I do this demo. So we've got a curve shank scud hook in there. I typically do it on gold wire, but I don't have any gold wire right now. So this is brown uniwire. It is size small, and I've got it on a wire bobbin. I don't use wire through the Nor-vise bobbins because the wire will scratch up the ceramic tube. All right, and I tie this on. So I'm using my wire like a thread. Come in here and clip it. And I'm going to lay my thread base down. This is the problem with using a non-Nor-vise bobbin, is winding the slack. Oh, you dirty rotten. All right, bear with me. That happens sometimes. Now would be a really good time to ask some questions.
Oh, Gil Benzinger's watching too.
Oh, yeah? Wow, this is like amateur hour. Hold on.
Just want to say we dropped from 120 people to 85 people when you started talking again instead of tying.
All right, well, I'm tying.
Duke goes, "Why would you use that bobbin? To not mess up one of the
good ones. Mess up one of the good ones, yeah. This stuff is, the wire going through the copper tube will literally destroy the copper tube in the Nor-vise bobbins. All right, so now I'm going to lay down a thread base, and basically this is a real pattern, by the way, that we tie, and I'm going to use the underbody of the wire to build my taper. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it on my thread post. Now that's copper wire, okay? This is hare's ear number 1 dubbing. And if there ever were two materials that were not supposed to go together, it is copper wire and hare's ear number 1.
Notice he didn't really have to do a half hitch because it's wire and it's going to hold its spot a lot more than thread.
So I got a little bit of dubbing teased out here, and we're going to do just like we do with the thread. I'm going to spin the vise, I'm going to touch the dubbing to the wire, and it's going to jump out of my fingers, and it's going to go right up onto the copper wire.
We got a question for a smaller hook like this. Would the new jaw 30 degrees be better?
It could be, yeah. I just wanted to get right to the next pattern, so I left my large jaws in, and you can see this is a curve shanked hook, and we get a question a lot of times about what do you do with a curve shanked hook. And what I do with it is I put the back of the hook on center and the front of the hook on center, and the top will rotate out of center a little bit. If the shank of the hook is curved, it's impossible to get a curved shank to run perfectly on center. So I look for the best of both worlds, so to speak. Now I'm going to work my way to the back of the fly. And we just dubbed hare's ear number 1 onto copper wire. And I'm going to break that off. Okay. Now I'm going to come in here, and this is just purely for aesthetics. I got a black thread.
So, any chance of making a steel barrel hardened metal insert for wire applications for our bobbin? Not
no.
right now. So
it's when you taking thread off and putting it on one of the spools is one thing. Taking wire off, and as soon as you kind of start to unwind it, the wire starts to get ornery. So to get it to come off of a spool and then go onto one of the Norvise aluminum spools would be a tall order.
And the thread tension to retract the wire is going to be a lot more than what's necessary for the thread.
There's a very, very simple caddis fly, caddis larva. We've used the wire to build the taper, to build the underbody. And we dubbed right onto the wire. So, like I said, if there were ever two materials that were not supposed to go together, it's copper wire and hare's ear number 1, and you can see how easy that was. So there's no black magic to it. It's very, very simple, and it all comes from the ability to be able to spin the vise. All right. One more that we'll do here. So we've really got into the throwing the ultralight two-handed rods for trout, the micro spays, and I've started taking some of the traditional spay type swinging flies and kind of adapting them into smaller versions that we could swing for trout. And this is one that I've been using that has been working very, very well for me. Let me go with, I'll go with this red so you guys can see it. All right, so we're going to tie on. Let me lay a little bit of thread base down here, and I got to get a rib in. So I'll just use this same wire that we were just using.
Got a question. Is it just as easy to dub with the fine point jaws?
Yes. If the secret to the fine point jaws, and that was one of the suggestions that we've had as far as things to do, and it was to show the setup of the fine point jaw, and we're going to do that. The secret to the fine point jaw is to just get it to where the hook is running on center. And one of these weeks here, and maybe next week, maybe the week after, we'll show you how to properly set up the fine point jaws. But yes, it is as easy to dub on the fine point jaws as it is for on the straight jaw. Okay, so we're going to do a two-toned body here. So this pattern is like I guess it's mostly like a Caddis pattern, and I want to put a hot spot in the back of it. So I got a little bit of chartreuse laser dub here, not a lot. Okay.
After you tie this on, show the half hitch slowly.
Okay.
Gary Hankey's asking.
All right. Let me get this. Let me get the body dubbed and tied on, and then I'll show you how to do it. All right, so I've got my dubbing teased out, spin the vise, touch the dubbing to the thread. It's going to jump out of my fingers right up onto the thread. That's going to be my hot spot. Now, this is going to be my body. The hot spot was, again, Senyu's laser dub in fluorescent chartreuse, and the body is Senyu's laser dub in brown. Okay?
Or sculpin olive if you can't find your brown.
Yeah, or tan. I actually, for this pattern, I like tan, and we're out of tan.
Or
so,
it's at my house somewhere.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to tease this out. Okay, now I'm going to spin the vise. I'm going to touch it right at the end of the chartreuse, and I'm going to work this up. Okay, so you can see I've got chartreuse here, and then I go into my brown, my body color. So I want to tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to pinch the thread here, spin it. Now see how that tightens that down for me, and I get a nice tight body. Now I'm going to reach under here with my hand, take this off, work my way to the back of the fly. Okay, now, I don't know if you can see it or not, this is my rib. And I don't want to rib over the hot spot. I only want to rib over the body. So I'm going to fold the rib forward. And then I'm going to work my way back. And then I'm going to work my way forward. Okay, so there's my hot spot. Now I'm going to fold the rib back. Now I'm going to go right into wrapping my body. And I've pre-tapered the dubbing. So I'm going to walk the body right up to my finish spot, which is, go back a little bit, which is right there. Okay, now for the half hitch, and we went over this last week, the thread is coming off the bottom of the hook shank right now. I'm going to put my finger here, and I'm going to make a loop. So if you can't see that, that's what I have. So I have thread. This leg of the thread is coming off the bottom. The top leg is going over the top. Okay? So I put my finger in it. I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to go one wrap around the shank of the hook. I'm going to take the loop and I'm going to move it from the front to back, but when I do, the eye of the hook has to go in between these two legs of the loop. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to move it to the back. I'm going to split the loop with the eye of the hook, and I'm going to pull the bobbin. And that's the easiest and fastest way that I've learned how to do a half hitch. So I'll show you again. I'm going to make a loop. This leg's coming off the bottom. This leg's going over the top. One turn, let the bobbin hang, move the loop from front to back, and pull the bobbin. Okay, now I'm going to go on the cradle. And I've got my rib, which is going to be my body rib. I've got it tensioned, and I've got it angled at about the amount that I want to wind it on, and I'm just going to walk this rib right up the body of the fly. You can see how it's giving me the segmentation that I want. I get up to the front. I'm going to let this hang. When with my auto bobbin, I'm right back in and ready to tie. And I'm going to go 3 behind, 3 in front, and I'm just going to helicopter this off. So you can see how that gave us 2 very distinct. You can see the hot spot here, and then it moves from the hot spot into the tapered body of the fly. So that's a cool way that you can do multiple colors in your dubbing. And if you're doing classics, you can do several. You could do chartreuse, orange, blue. You could just keep dubbing different sections of it onto your thread and then wrap it all on at once, as opposed to dubbing the chartreuse section, tying off, dubbing the blue section, tying off, dubbing the whatever section. You can do it all at one time. All right. So my next, this is a ring neck pheasant. This is a off of a pheasant rump patch. I love these things. The feathers, they have all these cool colors in them. They have all this iridescence in them. When the light hits them, they change colors. There's greens and purples in there. Just a really cool feather to work with. All right, so I'm going to prep this feather up. And that looks good. A little bit less than that. Okay, I'm going to tie it in by the tip. Half hitch it. I'm going to grab a hold of it with my Hackle pliers that I have. There they are.
The one thing that you just had in your hand 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that from being a machinist.
Yep. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to fold these back and try to crease them against the center. So I'm pinching them very hard against the center part of the fly, and that'll get me started when I go to palmer this. And we'll just work our way back, or work our way forward, I should say. And there you go. Okay, so I've got my feather on. I've wrapped up to the bare part of the stem. Now with my auto bobbin, boom, I'm right back in and ready to tie. 3 behind, 3 in front. You guys have never heard that before. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to very close. Actually, I'm going to switch scissors for that. I want to get this very close to the body, and I'm going to clip that feather stem out. I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to brush these back, kind of separate them. Now, I'm going to put some thread right. I want to get this laying back where I want it, which is about right there. That looks good. Okay, last feather is going to be a, it's Nature Spirit spotted guinea fowl, and this is tobacco brown. And this pattern, it's a very generic pattern, so you can tie all kinds of different colors with it. So I'm going to prep this feather basically the same way that I did the pheasant feather. Okay, so that's what I've got. Now I'm going to stroke these back. I don't want this one to be as long as the first feather. I want it to be about half the width of the first one. Okay, so that's what I have. All right, now I want to tie it in by the tip. Half hitch, go onto my cradle. And very carefully, because the only thing holding that feather in right now is the tip, so don't go crazy with it. You can pull it out or you can break it. I'm pinching these together against the stem so that they'll kind of lay back like so, and I just pulled it out. I did that on purpose to show you how quick the auto bobbin gets us back in our tying spot.
Yeah, and the grass was blue when I went outside today. And we caught fish today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. We got out on the water today, and
for like 4 hours.
We Tyler and I were both just signed on with TFO to be a TFO fly fishing ambassador, and we had some of our new gear, and we were out on a smallmouth river today, and it was tough going. I don't mind saying.
It was a really nice day.
It was a beautiful day, yeah, and we got to cast some really good rods. That A2X is absolutely unreal as far as rods go, but the fish just weren't cooperating today. All right, so I got my second feather on. Now my auto bobbin. I'm right back in and ready to tie. 3 behind.
Terry Landry said it's part of a blooper reel.
Oh, come on, dude. That's rough.
We could film at the shows and put a blooper reel out at the end of the show season.
Yeah, tying line. Actually, when we started doing this, and I talked to a bunch of my friends that have done these type of things and other type of tying videos, and the one thing that I heard was don't tie live, never tie live. And I'm like, the hell with it, we're going to tie live because
we tie live in front of 50,000 people every year at shows. What's another?
So there you go. That's one of my favorite trout swing bugs, and I actually like the tan body better, the chartreuse hotspot with the tan body. But tie that on your micro spay, swing it down through a hole, and you can't keep the trout off of it. All right, so there's we did the demo fly, we did the dubbing on the wire. I did the advanced with the two-tone dubbing. So that's what we have for tonight. As far as the Facebook Live topics, if you have something that you want to see us do, please by all means send me a message, and we'll put it in the queue and get it up here for you. So I'll open it up to questions now, and if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask away.
Shannon said he got out and used a streamer he tied from the contest and actually caught a couple fish.
Well, he used the nymph that he tied, and I think his son caught fish on it the other day. So that's cool. So
from someone who's not a streamer guy to go out and start fishing the streamer and catching fish, might have just been converted to the dark side.
He was when I said dry fly, I heard him yelling from down in
North Carolina.
Yeah, he was a happy camper. So. All right, any questions? Duke, did you learn anything?
You learned any tricks you're going to use for your next round fly?
Yeah. Yes, correct. Yeah, yep. Congrats. How can I get a couple of the bobbin tips? Send me an email. I'll send you some.
What's the orange thing on the bat? The Hackle.
Guard. Oh, the Hackle guard. It's one of these caps that we cut basically cut into a donut. Next Sunday is Easter. Will you be on next Sunday? Yes, we will be on next Sunday.
You don't want to move it to Saturday? You
Nope.
just want to keep doing Sundays?
Nope, I want to do Sundays. It's everybody's kind of getting adjusted to it, and also, and Casey Miller maybe Saturday night. All right, let me back off on that.
Our director's asking questions, so we need to consult with her.
Let me think about it, and I will say you will know well in advance when we're going to do this next week.
Well, with the March Madness schedule, it's only going to be, one night of voting?
Yeah, it's only going to be one night. Yeah.
So we can move it a little further forward and not really have as much of an issue.
Yeah, maybe we could move it to Saturday or maybe even Friday night. So,
well, Britt Davenport says don't move the cheese. So this is a discussion we have to have.
Yeah, right.
And we'll make an event and let everybody know. And
is Casey Miller making cakes for Easter?
Yeah, how do I get a wine cake
shipped up? Yeah, I need a wine cake.
I need one shipped up for Easter.
No questions. I can't believe that. I'm that good of a teacher that I have no questions?
No, people are just so lost I don't even know where to begin.
No, I don't think that's it. You are so funny. Yeah, that was Casey. You're so funny.
Trying to figure out which part, whether it's the director part or the wine cake part.
Yeah, right. What time is it?
7:59.
7:59. All right. We're going to hang around here for another minute or two, and then we're going to sign off. Thanks, Brian. Great show, guys. Awesome ties. Thanks. Have a good night. You too, Duke.
Oh, all right.
All right, guys. If you have any questions, you can email them to me or just comment in this thread, and I'll get to them a little bit later tonight. And again, if you have any suggestions of anything that you want us to do or you want us to go over, let me know here, and we'll get it in the queue or send me a message. All right.
One question: if you're doing a 2-wire brassy, do you do it from the front or the back?
Aha!
How do you tie in the wire?
I'll tell you what. Let's put that on the list, and we'll show how to do a 2 or even a 3-wire body on the Nor-vise. Good question. It's a cool technique.
Casey's talking about shipping cakes.
Good.
She said she'd ship one to Duke, so I want one too. And Kevin Griffin's talking crap against Lance. So.
Oh, is he? Okay. It's all good.
So, but all right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to sign off, and we'll see you next week.